In order to change the dart excess into a nice little peak, which reflects the pattern outline when the dart is folded so that your seam allowance is maintained, you can go into each dart, making sure that they are specified as darts. I'd like to just give myself a little double check, do an edit dart, make sure it's set up. This seems to be a little bit crooked, so I'm going to go ahead and let it fix that. And then when I go in, I'm going to do my other one as well. Edit my dart and let it do its thing. When I now click on the vanishing point for a dart and go into my seam allowance tool, do the opposite, go into my seam allowance tool and then click on my dart point, I can see that there's an exceedingly tiny thing here that says intersection, and it's highlighted in a very, not very clear way. There's a pull down menu here. So within that pull down menu, pull it down. And when you've clicked on a dart that has a functional vanishing point that allows the seam allowance to be fixed at the external area, it will look like this. So if we look super close, I can see that it wants to fold the excess to the right, to the left rather. This one wants to fold the excess to the right. On my dart here, typically our darts fold in toward the center front. So I'm going to select this fold option here. And when I do, it makes a nice little peak there, reflecting that when you fold this excess and then trim the seam allowance as you would on paper, it would create that little peak there. I'm going to do the same with my other point there. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to look here at the intersection, go over here to my menu, pull it down, and I can see I've got my options. I'm going to select the one that folds toward the center front. Okay, so that's all fine and dandy. But what you might find when you're doing a piece, when you're trying to create those dart excesses on the seam allowance for darts, number one, if you click on a dart here and it doesn't pop up anything, it's because you actually need to create seam allowance for your entire piece before it allows you to alter the dart. I'm going to get rid of this point right here. And so what I'll do is go into my seam allowance, highlight my entire piece, define my seam allowance as 0.5 like usual. And then from there, while I'm still in my seam allowance tool, I can click on that vanishing point. I can look for my intersection, use the pull down menu, and I'm not seeing that same option there. They're missing. So what that tells me is either the system is not recognizing that dart as a dart, or it's one of the idiosyncratic issues with Clo itself. I'm going to try this dart here. Look there. And I do see this option now. I'm going to select, again, the one that folds toward the center back, and that's fine. I'm going to try to see if defining this dart again makes any difference. So I'm going to highlight my two legs, right click, edit dart. I'm going to let it shape the dart cap. Who knows if that makes a difference. And now I'm going to select that point in my grading tool. So I'll put my grading tool first and then select the point. And I still do not see that option. If that happens, that's just something we have to deal with. We can, I'll do a separate video on how to shape this outline so you get that excess bump out like we expect for darts. But if you find that that can't work after editing your dart, then that's just the way that is going to be, and we can't fix it at the moment. So hopefully in the future that will be a Clo repaired bug.